All right, home buyers, are you ready to level up? Because getting through a mortgage loan is like working your way through a game. You've got to collect coins, dodge obstacles, and unlock new achievements. Let's go. Okay, our first level is going to be the pre-approval level, or this is where you build your character. And to do that, we're going to take a look at every single financial decision that you make. Okay, it's your credit score, how much you're making, how much you spend, how much you carry on your credit cards, what does your credit history look like? All of these go in to building this character in which you're going to work your way through the mortgage game. Now, your character can either be a great hero, a warrior, a knight in shining armor, or a jester. So think of yourself as going into battle. Now, if I'm going into battle, I would rather have like a sword, an axe, a shield, a mace, something in which to do some damage. And that's why I want my credit score to be as best it can. I want to show cash assets. I want my credit report to show that I pay my bills on time. Okay, I don't want to go into battle with a broom. Okay, so when your financial portfolio is sound, you have armored yourself for this game. Now, if you do an application and your credit score is in the dumps, you don't have a lot of cash in the bank, your credit history is so-so, maybe you're in some type of battle with the apartment complex that you live in, you don't have any weapons for this battle that you're about to face. Okay, you don't have any armor for those underwriters that are going to poke holes in your financial profile. So if you are going to embark on the mortgage game, please, please, please build the strongest character you can. Have weapons, have armor, have vision. This is how you will make it through the game with as little stress, as few roadblocks as possible. And here's a pro tip. In the 12 months leading up to your potential home purchase, keep your credit usage low, maybe 30% of your revolving accounts, and don't make any major purchases. Okay, vehicles, boats, things like that. Keep your eye on the prize. So now we're moving on to level 2, which is getting yourself under contract, or think about it as entering that very first dungeon. Now, what does under contract mean? What it means is that you and your agent have written up a legal purchase contract for the sale of real estate. So it contains all the terms, the provisions, the dates, the deadlines for the purchase of that property. The sellers either agreed or they countered some of the terms. However that negotiation worked, you now have a legally binding contract for the purchase of that home. And with that comes some significant milestones. First of all, the home inspection. As we've covered in other videos, that inspector is going to complete a diagnostic examination of your home from foundation to roof. They're going to issue you a report, probably 70 or 80 pages. You'll have an opportunity to review and perhaps negotiate repairs with the seller. You're also going to have the seller's disclosures. In most states, that's the seller's opportunity to disclose everything they know about that home, good, bad, and ugly. Very, very important document. Don't overlook it. Go through it with your agent. And then also you'll be getting your initial disclosures from me. Okay, this is a whopper of a packet, 70 or 80 pages. Much of it is federally mandated home buyer disclosures, but right smack dab in the middle of that is going to be your initial 3-page loan estimate with the loan and closing cost totally itemized. And you need to go over that with me to make sure you understand everything that's going into your loan. Power up tip: during the entire transaction, but especially in the initial stages, meaning the first week or two, you need to be checking your email all day, every day, because that's how most of these entities are going to communicate with you. And by that, I mean processors, underwriters, the title company, perhaps your agent, the transaction coordinator, me. All of us are going to be sending you emails. And though you will likely have more than enough time to close the transaction, you definitely want to stay well ahead of all these very important milestones. So that way, as you are approaching the closing date, you're not chasing down documents, you're not hunting for information, you're not stressing out. You're focused on closing the transaction and getting into your new home. Level 3, processing. This level is all about the dreaded side quest. So my team is going to give you a lot of quests, whether that's chasing down income documentation, tax documents, court documents, getting verifications of income, verifications of employment, getting information or letters of explanation from you or your employer. There's lots of little things that you will need to achieve that we need to add to your packet for the final underwriter. If you want to advance past this level, then we need to build a robust packet. And the point of this is when you get in front of that final boss, AKA the underwriter, they can't poke holes in your profile, right? We've explained everything, all right? We've dotted the I's, we've crossed the T's. We are sure that you can qualify for the loan. It's not putting you in a compromised financial position, and we're obeying all of the VA guidelines. Power up tip: when you're having your initial conversations with a lender, me, ask them right off the bat, hey, based off of my situation, my employment, my history, what documents do you think I'm going to need for underwriting? That lender should be able to give you about a 90 to 95% solution right off the bat. So go ahead and start pulling that stuff together. Either keep it ready or go ahead and send it to your lender. That way, when you're in processing and these entities are asking for these documents, they're already ready to go. You're not having to dig through moving boxes. You're not having to go to H&R Block. You're not having to call some employer you worked for 4 years ago, okay? Because that is a time waster and it's stress inducing. Just go ahead, ask what you need, and gather it all right off the bat. Level 4, the final boss. This is it. You are about to come face to face with the final boss known as the underwriter. The underwriter is the gatekeeper between you and your new home. You see, the underwriter does not work in your favor. The underwriter's job is to protect the lender and by extension, the VA, and make sure that you do have the ability to repay the loan. Like there's nothing in your financial history that might give someone the idea that you will default on the loan. All the guidelines are being obeyed and there's not a high level of risk, okay? When you realize that they're not your friend and they're not working for you, you understand how important it is to work with your lender to build the best packet possible. And these underwriters, they know a lot of tricks and they will often throw us curveballs. Like just when you think you're good to go, just when you think you're about to get those keys in hand, they'll throw out some last minute requirement, a document, a letter of explanation. Don't get upset. Don't get stressed out. They're doing their job. But if you and your lender did your job, then you'll have everything ready to go. You'll submit what you need and you'll get that approval. And level 5, victory, otherwise known as cleared to close. That means that you have made it through every level of the game, including final underwriting, and your loan has been approved. So at this stage, lender will issue the final closing disclosure. This should have all the numbers fairly locked in, locked interest rate, your homeowner's insurance, taxes that have been verified by the county and state, proper title insurance, proper settlement fees, proper calculated prepaid mortgage interest, all of it. It should be good to go. And you'll get that closing disclosure at least 3 days before physically signing for the home. Now, when you do physically sign for the home, just warm up that wrist, man, because you're going to be signing a stack of documents about that thick. You might sign your name 50, 75 times. If you're signing via POA for someone else, woo, loaded, get ready, because you're going to be writing out your name and their full name via power of attorney. You just got to do it. This is one of the last things in our society today that still takes wet signatures. But once you work your way through that big packet, you're done. The transaction will record with the county and state. You'll receive a copy of all those documents and the keys to your new home. So you have unlocked the greatest achievement, which is homeowner status. Now, power up tip here for your closing appointment. Be sure to bring 2 forms of ID and make sure that you verified the wiring instructions for your cash to close. So in summary, the mortgage game is not always easy, but if you have the right strategy and the right team, you can get through it with as little stress and pain as possible. If you like this video, please check out my other content related to the VA loan entitlement and home buying.